Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles. Now, I made a video earlier talking about Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield and why the 32-9 win against the Philadelphia Eagles was defining for the Baker Mayfield era in Tampa Bay, and why I feel like Baker Mayfield's the guy moving forward at the quarterback position for the Bucs. Now it's Todd Bowles' turn, because folks, I want to go back to week 11, I believe it was. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost a close game to the Indianapolis Colts. And I said at the time, if the season ended today, Todd Bowles would and should be fired from the team. Now, I still agree with that take contextually at the time. And thankfully, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on a run. An awesome, fantastic run where they won 5 out of their last 6 games in the regular season to finish 9-8, to go to the playoffs, to win the division, and just yet again continue the path that they have been on the past 3 years. Big difference here, Tom Brady was no longer with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And surprisingly, the Bucs finished with one more win this year than they did last year with Tom Brady. It doesn't make sense, right? But I think one of the biggest people I've got to credit for that regular season run before we start talking about the playoff game is Bucs head coach Todd Bowles. I am happy that the Bucs were able to turn it around. I'm happy for Todd Bowles that he was able to turn it around and put this team on the right track and really just get them going when they needed to get going the most. Their backs were against the wall. Todd Bowles' back was against the wall at 4-7, and he delivered. He took this team, helped take this team, and just turn them into a division winner yet again, turn them into a playoff contender yet again, and now you got the situation here against the Philadelphia Eagles, where, going into this game, a lot of people were iffy on the Eagles, 11-6. Yes, they lost 5 out of the last 6 games. Yes, they obviously have been a bit down, but this is a Eagles team that was 1 win away from winning the NFC East. A lot of people still considered them a fantastic team overall. It was the team that represented the NFC in the Super Bowl last year. It's a good football team. I don't care what anybody says. It is a good football team. Yes, A.J. Brown wasn't a part of the equation, but Jalen Hurts was a legitimate MVP candidate at 10-1 earlier in the year. The run game, just everything about the Eagles was a good football team. And people had questions about the Bucs. Can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win a playoff game? Are they a dud of a playoff team where there's a consolation team where, oh man, they won a crappy division, they're not going to do anything in the playoffs, the Eagles are going to blow them out? That is some legitimate thoughts that people had, and I'm going to be completely honest, I was iffy on this game. I didn't know what the heck was going to happen. Now, I felt better about this game, but right before the game had happened versus earlier in the week, before the game had happened, but I still didn't know what was going to happen overall. What did the Bucs do? They came out and dominated. Part of that is because of the defensive domination, where you allowed only 9 points to the Philadelphia Eagles. Todd Bowles gets credit yet again. What we have seen from this defense this year has been great. They tied second for the most sacks in franchise history. The only other time where they had more, I believe, was in the year 2000. You're seeing young rookies, guys in their first year in the league, make impacts. Kalijah Kancey, Yaya Diaby have looked great. Zion McCollum in year 2 looks like he could be a legitimate starting cornerback in this league. KJ Britt has looked very good rotating in with Devin White. You're seeing this defense grow and develop in a lot of different ways. And it has been one of the main focal points for why the Bucs are here, why the Bucs won 9 games, won the division. They've only allowed 9 points in their last 2 games between the playoff game and week 18, where they shut out the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to give Todd Bowles a lot of credit for that, for keeping this team on track, for helping the defense grow and develop throughout the year, for rebounding in such a huge way from a 4-7 record all the way to 9-8 into dominating a playoff game where the Bucs have been doubted time and time again, where Todd Bowles has been doubted time and time again. I even said it. I doubted Todd Bowles when they were 4-7. I was iffy on this playoff game, and I'm so happy to be wrong. I'm so happy to be wrong. Because it shows growth, it shows improvement, and it shows legitimacy to this regime. Todd Bowles is going to be back next year. He is. This cemented it. Jason Light and the Glaziers are celebrating so much because Todd Bowles got the monkey off of his back. He proved that he can win a playoff game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's wild also to think about that Todd Bowles didn't win a playoff game with Tom Brady, but he won one with Baker Mayfield. Life doesn't make sense, folks, but I mean, hey, it doesn't matter how you get it done or who you get it done with as long as you get the job done, and Todd Bowles was able to do that and do it well. This season has already been a success. You can build so much off of this year already. And the Bucs are one of 8 teams left in the NFL playoffs, one of 4 left in the NFC. They're technically a top 4 team in the NFC now, again, by default. And Todd Bowles deserves a lot of credit for that. I have been incredibly impressed by the head coaching job that Todd Bowles has done throughout the second half of this year and in the playoffs also. This was a Bucs team that looked prepared, that looked ready, and much like what I talked about in the case of Baker Mayfield, was ready to fight. And I know Todd Bowles isn't necessarily a guy who comes off as emotional and rally the troops, rah-rah type of guy, but I think that you can also say that these players never gave up on Todd Bowles. These players never quit, and it is a calm, cool demeanor from Todd Bowles. Maybe some people will say very much in the case of Tony Dungy. Obviously we're not going to go too far, but it's a similar demeanor where guys respect Todd Bowles. Guys want to play for Todd Bowles, and you're seeing that week in and week out now. You saw that through the second half of the season. You have now seen this in the playoff game, and I think that that is a fine culture to have, right? Let Baker Mayfield be the rah-rah guy. Let some of these other guys be rah-rah guys on the roster, the players themselves. If Todd Bowles' coaching demeanor is to be more calm, cool, relaxed, and collected, and not blow his top and go over the top with emotional reactions and whatnot. Look, it is what it is. It might not be what everybody agrees with, but we're seeing that this style works. We're seeing that the Bucs can get results under Todd Bowles and his coaching regime. And that's proved a lot of doubters wrong. I think that with this playoff win, maybe a hot take, I think Todd Bowles has bought himself 2 more years, minimum. That's not even including what happens in the next 2 years. But if the Bucs don't lose double-digit games next year, Todd Bowles is going to be back for another season. Of course, I have no doubt about that in my mind. I mean, even if they go 7-10, I think he's still back. Because you're seeing growth. You're seeing improvement with different pieces, guys. With different pieces. And expectations were blown out of the water this year. Not a lot of people expected the Bucs to go 9-8 and beat the Eagles in the playoff round. If I told you that at the beginning of the year, would you believe me? The answer would probably be no. But that's what happened. And the Bucs story isn't done. But even if they lose to the Detroit Lions in the divisional round of the playoffs, and we'll talk about that at a later date, I still consider this season a success for Todd Bowles and his regime. I still consider this season a success for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a whole because you've proven so much. Todd Bowles proved that as a head coach, he can win the division, he can go to the playoffs, and he can win a playoff game. That's something he has never done before in his career. He did not do it with the New York Jets. He didn't do it last year with Tom Brady, but he did it this year with Baker Mayfield and a really good defense that has been showing growth and development throughout this year. That matters, guys. That matters a lot. So it's cool to see. And I wanted to highlight it. I wanted to give credit where credit is due. And I think Todd Bowles has cemented himself as the Buccaneers head coach for the foreseeable future. I think that he's earned himself 2 more years. I think we're going to have Todd Bowles minimum of 4 years. And that's not even including what happens the next 2 seasons. Because this is an impactful win. This is a statement win. This is such an important win for Bowles. You're seeing legitimate growth here, folks. You're seeing culture. We talked about Bruce Arians and his culture and Tom Brady and his culture. I talked about Baker Mayfield and his culture in the video earlier. Todd Bowles is establishing that he is a winning head coach also. On his second go-around with the head coaching experience, he only had one winning season, I believe, with the New York Jets. But now he's doing stuff that he's never done before, and that's winning a playoff game and winning pretty darn well against a team that a lot of people did not expect the Bucs to beat. They've done it. And I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for that. So, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions about Todd Bowles down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.